The world can change in an instant. 1 minute, life's ticking along, the next, everything's chaos. Are you prepared for the unthinkable? Out in the wild, I've learned that being ready for anything is the key to survival. That's why we're diving deep into a survival scenario that hits close to home, a major attack on US soil. We're talking about the essential items you'll regret not having if disaster strikes. These aren't just tools, they're lifelines. We're talking about the difference between making it through the night and, well, you know. From portable shelters to water filtration systems, this guide will equip you to handle even the toughest situations. Remember, survival is about preparation, and today, we prepare. Out in the wild, shelter is non-negotiable. It's the difference between a night under the stars and a night battling hypothermia. Now imagine that same principle applied to a crisis situation right here in the US. You need a safe haven, and fast. That's where a portable shelter comes in. I'm not talking about building a log cabin in the woods, I mean a lightweight, compact shelter you can quickly deploy. Think of it as your mobile fortress against the elements, rain, wind, even snow. A good shelter needs to be durable. We're talking rip-resistant, waterproof material that can withstand some serious weather. And it needs to be big enough for you and your essential gear. Now, I've slept in everything from snow caves to hollowed-out logs, but a purpose-built emergency shelter? That's luxury in a survival situation. It gives you that psychological advantage, that sense of security when everything else is chaos. And trust me, in a crisis, that peace of mind is priceless. You can focus on what matters, securing your surroundings, staying warm, and protecting your loved ones. Remember, a shelter isn't just about physical protection, it's about mental resilience. It's about having a designated safe zone in the midst of uncertainty. So, don't wait for a crisis to hit. Get yourself a reliable, portable shelter. It's an investment in your safety, and quite frankly, it might just save your life. You can last a surprising amount of time without food, but water? Water is life, my friends. In a survival situation, finding clean, drinkable water is paramount. After a major attack, forget about tap water. Forget about bottled water from the store. Those resources will be gone in a flash. You need a way to purify water from any source, rivers, lakes, even puddles. That's where a good water filtration system comes in. Now, I've drunk water that would make your stomach churn. Stagnant water, muddy water, you name it. But I always filter it, always purify it. Why? Because even the cleanest looking water can harbor invisible dangers. Bacteria, parasites, you don't even want to know. A quality water filter removes those microscopic threats, ensuring that every sip you take is as safe as possible. We're talking about filters that can remove 99.99% of harmful bacteria and viruses. That's the kind of protection you need in a crisis. I've seen firsthand what dehydration can do. It saps your strength, clouds your judgment, and in extreme cases, it can be fatal. Don't let that happen to you. Investing in a portable, high-quality water filtration system is non-negotiable. This is your lifeline, your guarantee of clean, safe water when it matters most. Remember, water is life. Don't underestimate its importance. Be prepared, stay hydrated, and you'll dramatically increase your chances of survival. In a crisis, injuries are inevitable. A twisted ankle, a deep cut, even a blister can become serious if infected. That's why a comprehensive first aid kit is your best friend. Not just band-aids and antiseptic wipes. A well-stocked kit can handle minor cuts to major fractures. Think bandages, gauze pads, antibiotic ointment, pain relievers, the works. It's about preventing injuries from getting worse. I've stitched wounds with thorns, splinted bones with branches. A proper first aid kit makes all the difference. It's an investment in your health and well-being. Chapter 4. Emergency food supply, fueling your survival. Let's be real, when your stomach's growling, it's hard to focus on anything else. In a crisis, having a reliable source of food can be the difference between keeping your wits about you and completely losing it. Now, I've eaten things in the wild that would make your hair stand on end. Live bugs, raw fish eyes, you name it. But those were survival situations. In a major attack, you want to have a supply of food that's actually, edible. We're talking about non-perishable food items that can last for months, even years. Think canned goods, energy bars, dehydrated meals, things that provide essential calories and nutrients to keep you going. And don't forget about variety. Having different flavors and textures can do wonders for morale when you're living off your emergency stash. A little bit of comfort food can go a long way in a crisis. Remember, your emergency food supply is not about gourmet dining, it's about survival. It's about having enough sustenance to keep your energy levels up, your mind sharp, and your body functioning properly. So, stock up on those long-lasting, calorie-dense foods. Rotate your supplies regularly to ensure freshness, and don't be afraid to include a few comfort items to keep your spirits up. Chapter 5: Multi-Tool, your trusty sidekick. Out in the wild, I rely on my instincts and a few essential tools. And at the top of that list is a reliable multi-tool. Think of it as your Swiss Army knife on steroids. It's got everything you need for a multitude of tasks: cutting, prying, stripping, screwing, you name it. In a crisis, a multi-tool is your go-to problem solver. Need to cut through debris? Check. Repair your gear? Check. Build a makeshift shelter? Check. You get the idea. I've used my multi-tool to build fires, create shelters, even extract venom after a snake bite. It's truly an indispensable piece of kit. When choosing a multi-tool, look for one with a sturdy blade, a good pair of pliers, and a variety of other tools like a saw, screwdriver, and awl. Remember, the more versatile your multi-tool, the more prepared you'll be to handle whatever comes your way. It's like having a toolbox in your pocket. And trust me, in a crisis you'll be glad you have it. Chapter 6: Emergency Radio, staying connected when it matters most. In a crisis, information is power. Knowing what's happening around you, where to find help, and what to expect next can be the difference between life and death. That's where an emergency radio comes in. Forget about your smartphone. Forget about Wi-Fi. In a major attack, those luxuries might be gone. You need a reliable way to receive emergency broadcasts and stay informed. A good emergency radio will have multiple power sources: hand crank, solar panel, even batteries. You don't want to be caught in a situation where your radio dies right when you need it most. I've been in situations where a radio was my only link to the outside world. Hearing those voices, getting those updates, it gave me hope, and most importantly, it gave me a plan. Look for a radio with AM/FM bands, as well as access to NOAA weather radio. That way you'll be alerted to severe weather events and other potential threats. Remember, knowledge is power. In a crisis, staying informed is not just about staying updated, it's about staying alive. Chapter 7: Personal Protection Equipment, shielding yourself from harm. Let's be frank, in a crisis situation, you might encounter situations that require self-defense. I'm not talking about going out looking for trouble, but being prepared to protect yourself and your loved ones if necessary. Now, I'm all about using your wits and your environment to your advantage, but having a few essential pieces of personal protection equipment can provide an extra layer of security. We're talking about things like a sturdy pair of gloves to protect your hands, a whistle to call for help, and a high-lumen flashlight to disorient attackers. And then there's the elephant in the room: self-defense tools. I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't carry, as laws vary from state to state. But it's crucial to be aware of your local laws, and to be properly trained in the use of any self-defense tool you choose to carry. Remember, self-defense is about just that, defense. It's about avoiding confrontation whenever possible, but being prepared to act decisively if necessary. So, educate yourself on your local laws, consider your options carefully, and most importantly, prioritize de-escalation and avoidance whenever possible. Chapter 8: Fire Starter, igniting hope and warmth. Fire. It's primal, it's essential, and in a survival situation it can be a lifesaver. A fire provides warmth, cooks food, purifies water, and signals for help. But starting a fire in the wild isn't always easy. Forget about rubbing two sticks together, that's Hollywood magic. You need a reliable fire starter. I've started fires in pouring rain, howling wind, even using nothing but a piece of flint and a handful of damp moss. But having a good fire starter makes the process a whole lot easier. There are plenty of options out there: waterproof matches, ferrocerium rods, even magnesium blocks. Experiment with different types and find what works best for you. And don't forget about tinder. Having dry tinder readily available is crucial for getting a fire going quickly. Remember, fire is more than just a source of warmth, it's a symbol of hope. It's a beacon in the darkness, a sign that you're still alive and fighting. So master the art of fire starting. Practice different techniques, experiment with different tinder materials, and always carry a reliable fire starter in your emergency kit. Outro: be prepared, stay strong. We've covered a lot of ground today, but the message is simple. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Having these 8 essential items in your emergency kit will give you a fighting chance in any crisis. Remember, survival is not about luck. It's about preparation, resilience, and the will to never give up. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our essential survival tips. Stay safe, stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next video.